Hello, I'm going to talk to you about the history of baseball. Baseball-like games started in England in the 1700s, but became popular in the US in the 1800s. The first set of baseball rules was written down in 1845 by members of the New York Knickerbocker Baseball Club. There is an 1860s picture of club members here. By the 1850s, baseball was very popular in the northeastern United States. Many amateur baseball leagues formed. In 1861, the American Civil War began between the North and the South. The war was fought because the North wanted to end slavery, while the South wanted to keep their slaves. On the top right, there is a map of states that fought. During the war, the amateur leagues stopped. However, after the North won the war in 1865, soldiers from the North took baseball to many other parts of the United States. By 1870, there were several professional clubs, and in 1871, the first professional league was formed. In 1911, the ball was changed. It now had cork at the centre. The ball could be hit much further. In the 1920s, baseball's golden age, Babe Ruth changed how the game was played, hitting home run after home run. Here is a picture of Babe Ruth. He's one of the most famous baseball players in history. However, up until the Second World War, American baseball was, sadly, racially segregated. There were different leagues for black and white players. It wasn't until 1947, when Jackie Robinson signed for the Brooklyn Dodgers, that the colour barrier was brought down. It was another 10 years before the leagues were fully integrated. Since the 1800s, American global economic and military power has grown. Thus, baseball has spread around the world. You can see here the top 10 baseball nations. Baseball was introduced into Japan from the US in 1872, following the 1868 Meiji Restoration. It came to Korea with American Christian missionaries in 1905. The popularity of baseball then increased during the Japanese occupation, 1910 to 1945. Japan also introduced baseball to Taiwan during the occupation of Taiwan, 1895 to 1945. A very important event in the history of international baseball was the Spanish-American War of 1898. Before this war, Spain had colonies in Cuba, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. You can see these countries on the map at the bottom here. Spain lost the war with the US and lost these colonies. In Cuba, baseball became popular while it was still a colony of Spain. Cubans preferred watching baseball to watching the Spanish sport of bullfighting. The Spanish became angry, and in the 1860s, they banned baseball in Cuba. For Cubans, baseball became a symbol of freedom. After a short period of American occupation, 1898 to 1902, Cuba became an independent country and baseball became Cuba's national sport. In addition, during the 30-year fight for independence, many Cubans escaped to the Dominican Republic and introduced baseball there, where it is also very popular. In the Philippines, baseball was introduced shortly after America took control of the country following the end of the wars of 1898 and was popular for a short while. The Philippines finally became independent of the US in 1945, while Guam and Puerto Rico are still part of the United States today. Baseball spread in other ways too. In the former Spanish colony of Venezuela, another strong baseballing country, the sport became popular in the 1870s as American oil workers came to develop Venezuela's oil industry. Baseball in the Netherlands became popular after a Dutch English teacher brought the game back from the US in 1911. However, baseball has spread not simply because of American influence, but because it is fun and cheap to play. All you need is a bat, a ball, a glove, and a space to play in. Thank you for listening.